Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every week for educational information on subjects such as personal injury, family law, home care, tax relief, wealth management, plastic surgery, and air condition repairs. Now, sit back and get educated by some of Milwaukee's finest experts in their field.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Ask the Experts right here on the Big 920, thebig920.com, streaming nationwide and beyond via the iHeartRadio app. This is WOKY and my name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder, your venerable host of the show. I was trying to think of the right adjective there. Today we are joined by our initial guest. John Groth from Groth Law Firm joined us about a month ago, and he is here this morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Groundbreaking guest? Initial guest? Sure.
Yeah. Inaugural guest?
Inaugural. Sounds
Absolutely. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And you are joined today in studio by attorney Melissa Fisher, who is with Groth Law Firm as well. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Mitch.
Good to see you.
You as well.
Bright and early.
Very much so.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, John, last time you talked, we got to meet you and you introduced yourselves, and I'll have you talk a little bit about yourself again, but we're going to go to Melissa first. And Melissa, tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, how'd you get into law, just your elevator pitch, that sort of thing.
Sure. So I have been with the Groth Law Firm for the past 2.5 years, but before that, I went to Marquette Law School. I was a 2015 grad. Prior to that, I attended the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, where I majored in business administration and with a marketing concentration.
Okay.
Born and raised in Hartford, so about 35 minutes north of here.
Got it.
So a Wisconsin girl for life. No
Is that where you went to high school, or?
It is.
Okay. Nice.
It is.
Yep.
Good old HUHS. So. And like I said, I've been with the Groth Law Firm for the past about 2.5 years now, so it's been a blissful start to the career.
John, would you concur with that assessment?
Blissful is a great word.
Nice.
Yes, blissful. Yes.
That's good to hear. And John, why don't you remind us, where are you from and how long have you been doing what you've been doing?
Sure. I'm a Milwaukee born and raised kid. I graduated in, if I want to go back to high school, 1993 sure. In high school, if you want to go way back when.
So you got me by 1 year. I was 94.
Oh,
yeah, so.
I am just an old man, aren't I?
The oldest man in the room?
That's true. Sadly so. I graduated from Marquette Law in 2000, and I've been a personal injury attorney since then. Before that, I worked at an injury firm in Chicago, and that's kind of where I got the bug, and I really enjoyed helping people out and advocating for people. And then I worked for a firm in Waukesha where I did litigation, and I really enjoyed doing litigation, and then worked for one of the bigger personal injury firms in Wisconsin. And that's kind of where it all goes from there. And then I started Groth Law Firm in 2010.
Okay.
So for the past 7 years, we've been out and about, and we just moved our office to about 111th and Blue Mound, so sure. We're as easy as we can be to find.
Yep, 111th and Blue Mound, right off of Blue Mound and Highway 100, right by Moe's. Everybody knows where Moe's Irish Pub
Suburbia?
is.
Sure.
Yep, exactly. Melissa, John just used the words helping and advocating, and I think those aren't necessarily two words that jump out to people when they think about lawyers. Talk about what you guys do special at Groth Law Firm that really makes those two words important to what you do.
Thanks, Mitch. I agree that you don't hear that a whole lot when you think about hiring an attorney and things like that. But I would have to say that at Groth Law Firm, and of course that is in my career since I've graduated the only place I've practiced, but I have worked at a few other firms just clerking and doing things like that, and certainly have friends from law school that work in many other firms, so we do talk about that. And what I think Groth Law Firm does maybe differently in the helping and the advocating, that's where this comes in, is that we take an individual approach with clients. So a client calls in, they'll get an attorney on the phone. And that's, like I said, where the individual portion of it comes in. We don't have our paralegals handling the cases until litigation. We take, clients, I don't want to say hand by hand, but we walk them through the entire process. And even if it's a potential client call, they'll speak with an attorney. It won't necessarily be an intake specialist or anything like that. So along the whole process, we want to work with them, help them, and advocate for them.
So I have to imagine that makes a number of your clients and even potential clients feel quite comfortable. I'm not in the position where I've called a number of law firms for issues, but I like the idea that if I'm calling a law firm, I'm talking to a lawyer. I'm not talking to someone who's in law school or someone who's been trained in the law but isn't officially a lawyer. I like that.
Absolutely.
So what, how did you, John, how did you come to that was something that was important to you?
Years and years of experience and just seeing what's going on other places and really trying to differentiate yourself. There's a lot of us out there, lots of personal injury attorneys, and you can go online and find many more that you never even knew existed, because I just saw yesterday there are advertisers in the Wisconsin Google market, I'll call it, and you go on the Google machine and type in personal injury. There's attorneys in California I saw yesterday, and then a gentleman in New York who's a New York personal injury attorney, but he's running ads in Wisconsin. In Wisconsin. So,
well, I want to talk to somebody here. I mean, first of all, I want to talk to somebody here, and you guys are here. But second of all, I want to talk to one of you.
Yeah.
Or a lawyer in the law firm, as opposed to someone who has a form. I'm picturing, I call up a law firm, they have, a piece of paper, they have their checklist, blah, 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 and then they decide whether I talk to a lawyer or not. I like the idea that I talk to a lawyer.
And that's the difference. And that's what we've been looking at over the past 17 years as the experience was you're looking at ways that you can differentiate yourself and listen to clients and potential clients and figure out what they want or what they wanted and why they did or did not choose your firm, and then say, okay, well, this is really not only what people are looking for, number one, but it really helps us advocate for those people, number two, because when you're meeting with the person for the first time, you're getting information from them, and then as you're taking your notes and entering into the computer and going through things, you can be able to advocate for them and the tricks of the trade, and there are certain things that you can then use maybe 6 months from now, but that's something you gathered at the intake, and maybe the intake specialist or somebody else who's asking certain questions didn't have the same experience that you did, or certainly that person, if they aren't an attorney and haven't tried a case, they don't have that same experience as to what somebody says December 2015 may hurt them December 2018 when a trial takes place. So you want to make sure that you're aware of it and you are involved from the get-go, so you have really the whole picture, and you can help them and you can advocate for them when you're getting in front of a jury.
That makes a lot of sense. John Groth and Melissa Fisher joining me today from Groth Law Firm here on Ask the Experts. So, Melissa, take us through the process a little bit. So something went wrong, something happened, and I need a lawyer. And I call you at 375-2030, 414-375-2030, and I get connected to you. What
happens next?
What happens? Yeah, I don't know.
And to start that off, I do want to say, if the accident happens at all hours of the night, we do always have an attorney on call. So there's 5 of us attorneys. Somebody is assigned a week. So any time of day, we will take the call. We see a message come through, we will get back in touch momentarily.
Sure.
So, from the initial call, we would go through. We have like you said, it's an intake form. It's very thorough. So we want to gather as much information as we can. The date of the incident, contact information for the person first and foremost, name, address, phone number. What are the injuries? Is the car damaged? Who are the different players? So do you have auto insurance? Did the other driver have auto insurance? Did the police come? So all of these important details that when you call up the insurance company to let them know that you're working with this individual, that they are going to ask. So you have that at your disposal.
So the more information you have or you collect or you remember, the better that first conversation goes. Because I'm guessing a lot of people call up, don't have half that information. You say, here's your homework.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Or it's in the police report, which we will certainly gather that as well. After that, that's when we go through the in our office, and sometimes we roundtable these cases because every case is different. The facts and the circumstances is this a person that we are able to help? Can we handle this case? If so, we go ahead and we get the file up and running. We get a signed retainer from the client, sit down with them, give them more details about our firm, take them through the retainer agreement, make sure they understand.
So I'm going to break in right there too. So when I make that first call, the first thing you're asking me isn't for the retainer information. Because I would have the perception, okay, I'm calling a law firm. How much is this going to cost me just to even make this first phone call? It sounds like that first phone call, I don't want to say it's free, but it's part of the process.
Correct.
It's free, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is really.
Okay.
You hear the phrase free consultation, but truly that's what it is.
Okay, that's good to know. Because I mean, again, if I'm making that phone call, I don't know. My perception, and you guys can be mad at me because you guys are the lawyers in the rooms. My perception is one of those first questions will be, okay, just so you know, that I got your name and I got your insurance information. There's an accident. Now I need your credit card information because this phone call's $100 or whatever, and then we'll set something up after that. So that's not necessarily the case.
Well, and I think just the notion in today's society that time is money, that is a good, honest first thought when somebody is calling up. But we explain to them, because that is, again, a question we get quite frequently.
Yeah.
If we get it before going through the retainer agreement with the client, we certainly will face that head on and go through the fee structure with them. But we tell them right up front that this is a contingency fee agreement. I think it's we say the last sentence of the second paragraph of the agreement is the most important one. And in that it says, we do not recover if you do not recover. So if nothing is recovered, nothing's owed to the law firm. They don't charge us hourly. We don't require a retainer fee up front. It's strictly that contingency basis.
Got it. So I've made the call. We've had the conversation. You guys maybe have roundtabled and decided it is a case you're going to take. Then what?
Well, and this is important because we were just talking about this the other day, that people get people have the thought it's a misconception that once we call an attorney, it's going into suit, or that we have a lawsuit, or we have a lawyer, therefore the lawyer is filing a lawsuit immediately, or things like that. And that's something that a lawsuit is a very formal situation. And Melissa can talk about this. She's been in depositions, it seems, every other day these past few weeks. But depositions and such are very formal proceedings, and that's what happens when you're in a lawsuit. Okay. But in the very beginning, the goal from the get-go and all along is to try to settle the case without a lawsuit, because lawsuit means more stress, more work, very formalized process. So when you first call, there's a claim or a case, but not necessarily a lawsuit.
Got it. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about that process when we come back. John Groth and Melissa Fisher are here with me from Groth Law Firm. Go to Groth, Groth, growthlawfirm.com. That's growthlawfirm.com. You can call them at 414-375-2030. That's 375-2030. They are on 111th and Blue Mound in Tosa. John and Melissa will be right back on Ask the Experts.